We want to take this chance to tell the members of our media how grateful we are that you're here, number one. Number two, how grateful we are for the role that you play in our community in reaching minor fans and alumni, season ticket holders, donors in our constituency, because it's very, very important. Obviously, we have a really big game coming up, and we're going to have a sold-out crowd. We're very, very excited about it. 45,971 souls are going to fill the Sun Bowl. We're very, very jazzed about it, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Coach Dimel, because the truth is our football coach and the football staff have done a remarkable job of building this program back to the place where it's at, where it's competitive, and people want to come watch our football team. So big thank you to those guys. The second thing is our student athletes. We have a great group of young men. They have worked very, very hard to earn people's respect. I think you continue to see that with members of the media and the coaches voting them now in the middle of a pack in Conference USA. And of course, our goal is to compete for and win championships every single year. So we're not going to be happy till they're voting us 1, 2, or 3 every single year, because that's our goal. That's where we want to be and where we expect to be. So I just want to touch on a couple of things, and if you guys could help us get the word out. Number one, we need people to come early. We've had smaller crowds consistently for about the last 4 or 5 years. We need people to be thinking about coming 2, 3, 4 hours early. And that begs the question, can you tailgate? I'm here to tell you, you can tailgate in all of our tailgating lots, have a great family time, a great fun time, and have as much fun as you want, be respectful of other patrons in the parking lots, but you can tailgate. It's okay, and we look forward to that. The gates open at an hour and a half before the game, and so we're excited to see people get in the stadium earlier than normal instead of waiting till the last minute and all of a sudden there's 20, 30,000 people standing outside wishing that it started a little bit sooner, right? So get into the stadium quicker if you possibly can. Obviously, we have digital ticketing, and it's really important that our fans and patrons understand it's best if you can download your digital tickets and your digital parking in or when you're at home in someplace not close to the stadium, because obviously if 30, 40,000 people all wait till they get outside the stadium, it could be a challenge for us with connectivity issues and cell service issues. Everybody's experienced that at major sporting events. This is going to be a major sporting event in our city on that day. I think there's one other sporting event that's going head-to-head with us, and they won't have near the challenges at their venue that we're going to have at ours, all right? So download your tickets ahead of time. We have worked with Campus PD and transportation experts on how we can try to get people in and out of these lots more efficiently and more effectively. So there will be one-way traffic coming in. So, you know, we send out an email every single year for every single game about the things you should know. And I encourage every single person to come to the game to look at that and to read it so you can see the best ways to come into campus and come to your lot so that you're not frustrated by it. We're trying to make it better for everybody to come in quicker and leave quicker with the ingress and egress plans that have been established. So we're really excited about that because I think it'll help. It's usually not quite as bad coming in, except people are going to be here for the first time, parking in a lot that they don't know where they're going and how it all works, or maybe they didn't download their digital parking pass or their tickets, and so that will probably make things a little bit more challenging. We expect a very competitive game with North Texas. They're a really good football team. We expect a competitive environment, and let's just say that thing goes all the way to the end and everybody stays in the stands. You can imagine what a traffic jam it'll be if we do it the old-fashioned way and we don't have an egress plan. So we do, which are one-ways utilizing both the streets going out in all the different directions, but people are going to have to follow that so that they can get out of here quicker and get home. So the last thing I would just say is a reminder, because of security purposes, our clear bag policy. And we've instructed our parking attendants, there'll be 2 people at every single parking lot, to remind people, don't forget it's a clear bag policy. That's to keep people safe in our arena so people are not bringing things in that they shouldn't. And basically that's a 12-inch wide by 12-inch high by 6-inch wide plastic bag. You can't put things in a gallon Ziploc bag. That works too. And if it's a female, they can have a little clutch. It basically is no bigger than your hand, about 4 inches by 6 inches. Now, I have the appropriate dimensions here, right, for a clutch, for you ladies, if you want to know, right? This is what it looks like. And so that works as well, okay? So once again, we're very, very proud of our coaching staff, our football team, and this university is going to see something that it hasn't seen and experienced for a while. We're really, really excited to showcase UTEP athletics, UTEP football program during the 915 campaign. It's going to be a terrific evening. Any questions for me?
Just what are ticket sales at right now? You mentioned it's going to be a sellout. Do you know what the number is?
Yeah, I think we have about 5,000 tickets left to sell. So they're moving very quickly, and we continue to see groups buying tickets. It would be my goal and my hope that we could announce on Friday that it's sold out, so people don't come to the stadium on Saturday and then get turned away, right? Because they want to buy tickets and then there's none to sell. We'll see if that happens, but I'm very, very confident we're going to have a sellout. Any other questions? Great, thank you. Go Miners!
Yeah. All right. Hello, everybody. I'll go over something here real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, UTEP head coach Dimel.
Forgot sledgehammer.
Yeah, you forgot it there, Colin.
Yeah.
That's what
President was here. I was proud.
That's what I'm waiting for. I can't get started. Okay, hello, everybody. Obviously, getting ready for, our team's focused in, getting ready for game one here. 1 of 12. Looking forward to the first 915 game of the year. Can't wait to get our guys out there. But as we learned today, there's still a lot more work for us to get done. That's the big thing as a coach that we're looking at, that we need to get accomplished over these next few days. And so today's, you're actually stealing a day in preparation because it's a Monday, but, we got a lot of work done already on our first opponent. And so today was a hybrid of what would be considered a Tuesday practice, but just a little bit shorter than a normal Tuesday practice, but we went full, good on good and got plenty of work that way. And then tomorrow's will be the same style of practice for us. It'll be exactly identical to what we did today. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be stealing a little bit of days because we have more time to prepare. And then Wednesday's practice will be a little bit more of a hybrid of a Tuesday, Wednesday, both practice, and then we'll go back and do our normal Thursday practice. So with that being said, the guys, geared in today. They had a break. Sunday was their off day, and so they came back, and we did some things well today, but we obviously got a lot to work on here as we finish up the week. So that's going to be big for us. I've been really pleased with the preparation that we've had throughout camp. It's been a good hard camp for us, and been pleased with the progress of how some of our younger guys are developing. I mean, that's the big thing as a coach. How are we developing our young guys as we start to set our two deep? There's still some competition going on right now at certain spots, and there's guys battling today. There's guys that switch spots today in certain position groups as they went through the battle. So it's still ever changing. That's how far away we are as a football team yet from kickoff. And so I would say one guy lost his spot today to another guy as far as, getting guys that would see the field for us, because as everybody knows, we're going to play more. We'll probably play 3 or 4 running backs in the game. We'll probably play 5 or 6 different receivers in the ball game, and so on and so forth. So it's just a continuous battle going on. Switching to Saturday, obviously looking to have a great turnout. Looking to get our students there. We got a good function going on tonight to encourage more students to come to the game. Looking forward to getting our team out to participate in that this evening. And but our guys got to stay locked into the focus of preparing for the game. And the fans really, my message to our fans is that they got to be a big part of the game. And they got to make a difference in this game. And so when North Texas has the football, we got to be loud, and we got to make noise, and we got to cause havoc for them and use all the fans being here to our advantage. And then, we got to feed off of their intensity and their excitement as a football team. So that'll be a big part. So that's my urging to everybody that comes to the game, is really get into the game and help your Miners, have the home field advantage in this ball game. Talking about North Texas. North Texas is, obviously to me, and this isn't coach speak, this is just me being honest and candid. They're one of the toughest teams we're going to play all year in the conference. And I've mentioned this in other, but they've been to, I think, 6 consecutive bowl games since Seth's been there, and are the team, always the team to beat in our league. I think they have a really good football team. They are as experienced as we are. As you look at experience coming back, they have just as much experience coming back as we do. And they got a lot of good players. They got a quarterback that's 29 years old, so there's good experience right there in itself. He's a big athletic player. They're very deep at running back. They're very deep at receiver. All their starters are coming back from their secondary. Both their starting linebackers are coming back. 4 of their 5 offensive linemen are coming back. They got a really, really talented receiver that got hurt last year that'll be back for the game. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be one of our toughest tests all year. And as a coach, that's coming right out of the gate for your opening game. So we got to be ready, and we got to play really good football from snap one, right? There's no time to come out but do anything but play really good football from the very beginning of the game. And so that's the challenge that we have for our football team right now. And that's why our preparation has been locked in and focused with what we're dealing with. So again, we know North Texas is going to be a huge test for us, and it'll be a good indicator of where our football team is going into week 1. So as you set the stage for our season, we have some tough tests right out of the get-go, and that's good and that's fine, and that'll get us ready for the rest of the conference and the rest of the non-conference slate as we move forward. So I'll open it up to questions from there.
Coach, last year, the last really big game you had was last year when you played UTSA.
Yeah.
You kind of came out a little tight. What did you kind of learn from that you can kind of apply to this game?
Yeah, I don't think we played well in that game by any means, Brett. And, to me, I think that, again, it was the first time we had played in that type of a situation. And I think that we got to make sure that we stay really focused on our preparation, but we got to go out and play aggressively. And that's going to be a big part of what we need to do. Our guys need to play aggressively. They need to play with confidence and attack every situation they can attack, and not feel like with the big crowd we have to be tentative.
Coach, you still talk about how there's still a couple of competitions going into this week. At this point of the season, 1 week out from the season opener, would you want ideally for those competitions to be set already, for you to have your idea of that 1-2 or that 2 deep depth chart, or is this a good thing, and if so, how is it a good thing?
That's a great question. There's pluses and minuses to both sides of it. You'd like to have it set, but again, I like the competition that's there. A lot of times your team's in a spot where you don't have the competition because you don't have the depth to have the competition. And I think it's definitely a matter of us with iron sharpening iron. It's not that someone's not doing it and thus we got to find somebody else to do it. It's that there's guys that have prepared really hard and are ready to play, and those guys are now trying to outcompete their competitors for the position, even though they're teammates. There's competition in a positive way between those guys. So I feel like it's more been driven from the depth that we have on our football team, so I think it's a positive for us for sure.
Do you like, and this just doesn't happen very often, but do you like the idea of playing a conference game week 1?
I don't mind having a tough game. Week 1, I think there's a lot that goes into it. I think it's made us make the most of our 3.5 weeks of preparation that we've had leading up to this ball game. And so I think it's got the team knowing that we can't come out, and just kind of cruise into a first game and build as the season goes along. I think it's going to, really it helped our intensity throughout camp. And as it always goes, the game gets here quicker than anybody expects it to, and it just doesn't seem like very long ago that, it was May 5th, right? And now, we're going out to camps and watching high school and junior college players and evaluating them, and before you know it, 3 months has passed and the first game's here, So it's gone fast for us. The summer went quick, and the fall camp definitely went fast for us.
Coach, this is the most expectation that the UTEP team has had on its shoulders in years. I mean, how are you helping players handle that pressure and go out there and deliver?
Yeah, I think our biggest thing is being 1-0, and I think that's the part that we've tried to get into our guys, from the moment that they got here and started working, is that you got to be 1-0. You got to prepare for today the best you can prepare for today, and not look outside and look at the big picture, because it'll overwhelm you at times in any type of situation you are. So that's always been a big thing for us, is be 1-0 in everything we do, and so the team has to take that stance right now for sure.
Does it help knowing their quarterback and having experience playing against him, or what kind of new things are you preparing for them in the past game?
Yeah, I think, again, Adrian, I think they're going to have plenty of new stuff for us, because of his experience. I think they can do, various things with him. I feel like I think and know that they are better at wide receiver than they were last year, and so they definitely will have a better ability to throw the football this year with the talent that they have there.
More on Ronnie, he's almost 30. He's about to be 29 years old because he played 6 years with the Yankees coming out of high school. Have you ever played against someone in college at that advanced age before?
Not that I can recall, I know there's been some quarterbacks that have had that type of background through the years, that have gone on and played professional baseball and then come back and played. But I don't think we've competed against somebody like that. And, he's still getting better all the time, because obviously he's getting back into playing football again, because he's away from it playing baseball. But it just shows what kind of talent he is. And, of course, he comes from good lineage as well, from his family's prior family members being really good quarterbacks as well.
Katie Davis, the linebacker, entered the portal at some point in the offseason, decided to return to North Texas. Just from studying the film of last year, kind of what does he bring to the table that maybe they would miss if he wasn't there?
Yeah, well, he's their leader. He's their leader of their defense. So when he put his name in the portal, I know they were very, concerned about that, and to have him back is huge for them, because he's a big part of their blitz package. He's pretty much present in almost every blitz that they do. He's part of the blitz, and he's improved a lot. I thought his game from the end of the 2 years ago, from the 2020 season until the end of the 2021 season, improved immensely. And so he's a guy that just continues to get better and better. And so I know it was, very positive for them to get him to decide to come back.
Coach Dimel, how important is it to you guys to start this season on the right foot? Because I feel like a lot of people are expecting you guys to win this game and continue that throughout the season.
I think any time a season's, it's important to start a season off in a positive direction. But anytime you're a football coach and you've been doing it as long as I have, you need to make sure that you're preparing your team to be a team that continues to improve throughout the season. And so, again, as I've addressed and continue to address, it's 1-12, and it's our ability to, play well in the first. It's our opportunity to play well in the first game, but we got to continue to improve as the season goes along.
Coach, talking about the expectation going into this year, how about you with the day-to-day prep coming into this season opener? Have you gone about it any differently?
I'm trying to really, we have really good leadership on this football team, and so we did not name any captains this year, and I think that, I've studied some other people that have done that, and I think it's a really positive. I think one of the NHL teams this year had done that and had a lot of success, and some other coaches across the country have done that, and they do that when they feel like there's a big group of leaders on a team, and you don't want to pin anybody down and say, okay, you guys are our 5 leaders, and the other guys kind of say, okay, I'm not a captain now, and they take a back seat. And so we've tried to expand the leadership in our football team, and so that's one of the things. We're going to be a better team the more self-led football team we are, and so I've tried to expand the leadership on our team from the experience that we're having coming back.
So with that many running backs that you're going to be able to use this year, you would think that it would really give a great opportunity to your tight end to really shine with breaking the running game open first, and knowing that you can drop them down 7-10 yards and get some yardage out of them.
Yeah, again, our style of play, one of our secrets to what we do is, we have tight ends that are really good run blockers. That's always been a part of what we do, and it's important because it just establishes a gap in football that a lot of college teams can't establish anymore. The C gap is an old school football gap that a lot of people have lost in their run game because they don't use tight ends anymore, and they try to establish it with different ways. And so that's the first MO that we're going to have from our tight ends. And then one of the other things is they got to be really good at pass protection, and so do our running backs, and that's important for us as well. And so we might not throw the ball as much to the tight ends, but we also don't get our quarterbacks hit very much either. So there's that's a big thing to what we do. Obviously teams take a drop off when they lose their quarterbacks, right? And we see it. And so our big thing is we ultimately can't control that, and it's going to happen in games, but we try to minimize the touches that people get on our quarterback, and so we do it through various ways, and we use our tight ends in various ways to help teams from being able to do that.
Coach, you have a lot of experience on that front six on the defensive side of the ball. Is there a hope that early parts of this season, their leadership and skill can help you guys ease into the secondary, trying to replace a lot of those from last year?
Ask that question again.
Is there a hope that your front six will kind of ease the burden on your secondary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Good point. Yes. Those guys, obviously and we've created some depth there too. That's what I think is one of our secret sauces in our front is, not only having Praise and Jadrian and Keenan and Kelton and Tyrese and some of those guys up front there, it's also the depth that we have there, and I feel like we've brought in some, two really good defensive ends that people haven't even got to see play yet that are going to add a lot of depth to those positions. And then I felt like there was times last year that Blake Thompson and Tavita inside were playing as good as Kelton and Keenan, right? So we have a lot of depth there, and that does take, stress off of our secondary. But we brought in 5 really talented secondary players. I feel like our athleticism and our talent at secondary is higher than it's ever been, but now it's just those guys getting some game experience.
How do you feel like, just since the bowl game last year, I know we talked a lot about expectations for the program, but in terms of players on the team who've been here for a while and have high hopes for this year, maybe a conference championship, how are they managing, the expectations just amongst themselves?
Well, I think, there's 2 huge things. You obviously have to be able to handle adversity, but you got to be able to handle prosperity. And when guys, we haven't had, this year's football team has had 0 prosperity, right? And so we can't have any expectations of prosperity more than preparing and being really confident that we're going to win every football game. But the only way we're going to be successful is in the way we prepare. And so that's the message I've been sending to our guys. What those guys have done in the past, really, right now, our expectations are to win every football game, but we're only going to win them one at a time. And so we have to be ultimately prepared, and that was the challenge today. We're not going to just show up. It's Monday, and we still got a lot of good work to do yet this week, so that's the message that we're sending to the team.
Coach, speaking of that bowl game, how much does that loss kind of help the team moving forward into this season with experience?
Yeah, that game was a really learning tool for us because I think we played, as everybody says and knows, probably the best team in California, and I think our guys saw that they could beat them, and had a great chance to win that football game. And so our team gained a lot of confidence from that. And we were really, at the end of the year when we played UAB last year, we were really beat up against UAB. As far as there was probably 5 or 6 of our starters that didn't play in that game or went out during that game, and we still walked off the field and said, we probably should have won this football game. And so, that's where our team was at the end of last year, so I think we gained some confidence from that.
Coach, looking at the depth chart, trying to figure out how to phrase this, there's kind of a name in there I wasn't really expecting to see. If anybody's in there listed as a starter on the depth chart, is the expectation they're going to be available? Yeah,
that's why they'd be on there. Yeah, of course. Why would anybody think any different?
So Breon got his waiver?
Well, I'm not going to make any comments about that. I think I've talked about that multiple times.
I know, I just saw his name on the depth
Yeah,
chart.
that's good. Glad you can see that.
Coach, the last time you were at UNT, I was down on the sideline. You were up 4th quarter. Everyone was excited, a lot of alumni there. And if it wasn't for a lot of a mistake, you guys would have beat UNT. Are you using that motivation, the defense, to motivate the defense? Like, look, we had them last year. We should have beat them. Are you using that motivation for this game?
Our motivation for this game is to go out and play the best football we can play. That's our ultimate motivation for the game. There's plenty of reasons to want to beat North Texas, but the biggest reason that we would like to beat them is we have so much respect for them because they've been so good throughout the years that would be a huge thing for us, a huge feather in our cap.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you.
Thanks.